The house where I grew up, we moved from there. So from 1 to 12, I lived in a house that right behind was still bomb site.
Picture this. It's a crisp morning on July 23, 2025. The world awoke to the devastating news of Ozzy Osbourne's passing, the Prince of Darkness silenced forever. But as the headlines screamed sorrow and tribute, Sharon Osbourne, his wife of over 4 decades, made a decision that would send shockwaves through heavy metal and beyond. In a move no fan expected, she stepped into the spotlight to expose the one secret Ozzy had taken to his grave, his darkest, most haunting truth. Think of Birmingham in the late 1960s, smoky pubs, snarling guitars, a young John Michael, Ozzy Osbourne chasing stardom with Black Sabbath. It was here Sharon Osbourne, a bold 18-year-old with dreams of the West End stage, met the wild frontman. Their love story, born in the chaos of Ozzy's rise, was marked by passion and peril. The two married in 1982, sealing a bond that rode the highs of platinum albums and the lows of addiction, scandal, and betrayal. You probably heard of Ozzy's infamous substance struggles, the days when he downed whiskey by the bottle, snorted lines in tour buses, and vanished for weeks on end. But behind the rock star myth was a husband and father battling demons. Sharon stood by him through every rehab stint, 8 times in total, only to see Ozzy slip back into self-destruction. Family dinners in Los Angeles turned into police raids. Birthdays ended with paramedics. Yet Sharon believed in redemption, until the moment she discovered the truth he'd hidden from her. On a rainy night last autumn, a private investigator, hired by Sharon amid whispers of hidden atrocities, presented evidence so damning it left her breathless. Ozzy, it seemed, had a second life. Clandestine meetings in Hollywood motels, whispered phone calls at 3 a.m., and a secret addiction that went far beyond alcohol or pills. The details remain murky, but Sharon held documents proving her partner's darkest betrayal. He'd crossed lines even she could not forgive. Black Sabbath's original lineup fractured under tension. Tony Iommi's riffs clashed with Ozzy's ego. Geezer Butler's bass lines competed with Bill Ward's drumming. Behind closed doors, fights spilled into hotel corridors. Ozzy's outbursts led to canceled shows in Berlin, furious limousines in New York, and lawsuits filed in London. Yet these feuds became legendary, adding fuel to the band's myth and to the man's reputation as rock's wildest patriarch. Picture Ozzy stalking a Hollywood studio lot under a swollen moon in 1988, a blistering sunset casting his shadow long and intent. He'd arrived for what was to be a groundbreaking duet with Madonna, only to find her team's icy glare and whispered ultimatums waiting in the wings.
There was all this talk in the office that there was this band called Black Sabbath that had a stupid manager from Birmingham, and their album had just come out, and there was...
The collaboration collapsed in a storm of bruised egos and hurt pride. Ozzy storming off into the night, fists clenched, feeling the sting of rejection sear deeper than any stage light. Then came the live TV debacle in 1994, Ozzy and Daisy Fuentes, side by side under blinding spotlights. A misfired joke, a flash of fury, and suddenly microphones captured a cutting insult that left Daisy in tears and Ozzy floundering in shame. Cameras panned to Sharon's taut smile backstage, her heart splitting at the sight of her husband's public unraveling. But the deepest wound cut closest to home. In 2002, Kelly Osbourne staggered back into the family fold, eyes hollow from rehab battles. On a primetime special meant to herald her recovery, Ozzy's voice betrayed him. Raw with disappointment, he accused his daughter of betrayal in front of millions. Kelly recoiled, her fledgling hope crumbling like a paper cast. The cameras rolled as father and daughter stood on opposite shores of a chasm carved by fame, addiction, and shattered trust. Each feud became a raw chord in Ozzy's life song, moments where anger and regret intertwined, where public spectacle laid bare private scars. Across tabloids from Tokyo to Toronto, headlines screamed of family torn, alliances broken, and a legend grappling with the cost of his own excess. Picture a once happy home in Los Angeles, its walls echoing with laughter, until the storm rolled in. Amy, the eldest, moved silently through rooms thick with tension, her eyes always searching for peace that never came. Kelly, Ozzy's mirror image in spirit, wrestled with the same demons that haunted her father. Late-night cries and slammed doors became their family's haunting soundtrack. One evening, Kelly stumbled into the kitchen, tears streaking mascara down her cheeks as Sharon cradled her, whispering fierce promises of hope, even as her own heart fractured. Then there was Jack, the quiet shadow, whose battles with depression were concealed beneath a veneer of bravado. He'd pace the sprawling Osbourne mansion at dawn, heartbeat pounding in his ears, convincing himself that no one noticed his pain. Sharon watched in torment, torn between managing Ozzy's career and gathering the shattered pieces of her children's spirits. Imagine Sharon's anguish as she sat at the dinner table, a plate for 4, but only 3 forks. Ozzy, lost in his own darkness, often missed family gatherings, leaving his children to grapple with abandonment. Amy's trembling hands would reach across for her father's chair, only to pull back, the emptiness whispering betrayal. The Osbourne kids, survivors of their own private war, learned that love could wound as deeply as any scandal, each conflict etching invisible scars that shimmered under Hollywood's spotlight. Through whispered confidences and late-night phone calls, Sharon fought fiercely to shield Amy, Kelly, and Jack from the fallout. She became both warrior and healer, codependent yet resolute, her maternal love a fierce flame in the darkness. But no amount of protection could stave off the truth that their family ties, bound by blood, were on the brink of unraveling. Picture the moment. Shards of bone and metal, the earth torn where Ozzy's ATV lay crumpled on a windswept field at his Dorset estate in 2003. Blood and adrenaline coursed through his veins as paramedics pried him from the wreckage. Yet against all odds, he lived to scream into the microphone once more. That near-fatal crash became legend, a testament to his unbreakable spirit. Years later, when Parkinson's disease crept into his life like a silent thief, robbing him of the precision in his hands and the steadiness in his legs, Ozzy refused to yield. Each tremor was met with defiance. He rehearsed with iron will, his raspy voice quivering but unwavering. Behind every shaky step backstage, a warrior's heart beat with unwavering resolve. And then there was the Osbournes, a raw, unfiltered window into his world, a father's vulnerability laid bare on MTV screens. We watched him stumble through teenage tantrums, share tender glances with Sharon, and find solace in family laughter amid chaos. The show captured his humanity, a fallen rock deity battling mortality in real time. From the roaring crowds in Sao Paulo's sprawling stadiums to the neon lights of Seoul's night sky, Ozzy's voice thundered across continents. Each note was a battle cry against despair, a promise that as long as he could breathe, his music would transcend pain. In every encore, fans felt the tremor of his journey, from crash to comeback, from diagnosis to defiant performance, and knew they were witnessing a legend forged in fire and resilience. Picture this. A packed arena in Des Moines, 1982, acid lights slicing through fog as Ozzy, eyes wild with feral bravado, sinks his teeth into a bat's limp form. The crowd gasps, then erupts, immortalizing the moment in rock lore. Yet backstage, whispers turn to nightmares, veterinarians threatening legal action, and a shaken band questioning if their frontman had gone too far. Fast forward to 1986, a grim courtroom in New York City. Ozzy stands at the defendant's table, charged with obscenity for lyrics smeared across his album sleeves. Paparazzi lenses click endlessly as tabloids churn headlines, Prince of Darkness or Profanity King. Inside, Ozzy's trademark smirk falters for the first time, the weight of public judgment pressing down like a guillotine. But the stage beckoned again. Acquitted of all charges, Ozzy emerged from the haze of scandal with defiant triumph. Headlines morphed into legend, tales of wild stunts and fiery riffs that defied authority itself. Each act of rebellion, biting, blasphemy, courtroom drama, became a badge of honor, forging a mythic persona that no trial or public outrage could dismantle. These scandals weren't mere footnotes. They were the steel rails on which Ozzy's legacy thundered forward, guiding fans into the heart of his darkness and daring them to stay for the ride. And now, in a revelation that feels ripped from a rock opera finale, Sharon has lifted the veil on a betrayal more profound than any scandal Ozzy ever courted on stage. Imagine the stunned silence in living rooms worldwide, fans frozen with disbelief as televised news broadcasts cut to Sharon's solemn face. Behind her, an edited montage of Ozzy's greatest hits flickers across the screen, each chord now tinged with an uneasy undercurrent. Behind closed doors in Sharon's private Los Angeles estate, the atmosphere was electric with tension. Family confidants recall Elle hearing the click of a flash drive as Sharon inserted it into her laptop, the cursor blinking over folders filled with damning evidence, hotel receipts, encrypted voicemails, and grainy security footage. This wasn't a mere whisper of misconduct. It was a concert of secrets, crescendoing in betrayal. Across the globe, social media exploded. Hashtags surged as fans and detractors alike grappled with the man who once embodied unrestrained freedom. Devout metalheads scrambled to defend their idol, while gossip sites reveled in speculation about the true extent of Ozzy's hidden life. Forums teemed with conflicting accounts, some vowing to boycott future reissues, others insisting this final act only humanizes the Prince of Darkness. In the days following, rock historians and culture critics scrambled to piece together the context. They revisited Ozzy's earliest interviews, searching for subtle clues in his guarded expressions. Music journalists pored over chart positions, reinterpreting lyrics in light of Sharon's disclosures. Songs once hailed as anthems of rebellion took on new meaning, lines about betrayal and solitude echoing the pain of concealed truths. For Sharon, this unveiling was both reckoning and release. Insiders describe her mix of grief and resolve, grief for the man she loved, resolve to stand by the truth. She vowed that Ozzy's art would endure, but not unchallenged by the shadow of his real-life drama. As the world mourns, Sharon's decision ensures that the final curtain falls not on a sanitized legend, but on a complex, haunted human being whose last act was to expose his own darkness. Picture this. Decades from now, biographers will not just study Ozzy's albums, but dissect every interview, every scandal tape, and every rehabilitation transcript as if unraveling a crime thriller. They'll chart the seismic impact of Paranoid, 1970, alongside the tremors caused by his secret Hollywood rendezvous. Universities may offer courses comparing the raw honesty of his 1980s solo work with the darker truths Sharon revealed in 2025. Think of a future documentary, its opening shot panning over a dusty London recording studio where Ozzy first barked into the mic. The narrator's voice will tremble, explaining how the man who sang of war pigs and Iron Man battled private wars that threatened to destroy him. Archival footage will cut between sold-out arenas in Sao Paulo and his late-night motel visits, two sides of a life lived in extremes. The legacy won't be a simple hero's tale. Instead, it will reflect a portrait of contradictions. The performer who commanded stadiums but hid in motel rooms, the family man who broke his children's hearts, the icon who inspired millions yet betrayed the very people who loved him most. Sharon's revelation ensures that future generations understand this truth. Greatness can be born from chaos, but chaos also leaves scars that never fully heal. Stay tuned as the world sorts fact from myth, rewriting biographies and reassessing the Prince of Darkness. In that reckoning, one thing is certain. Ozzy Osbourne's legend will endure, but seen now through the prism of human frailty and the dark secrets we all keep hidden within.